Here's the thing. We're a team of thieves. And when you do this, you're bound to make enemies.
So we're in a very special moment for the role-playing games, with a new generation of players rising and joining the old school fans that never left. So how do you think that the movie will impact this special moment for the genre?
I mean, you look, role-playing games have been around for a long time, and there have been a lot of movies that are based on them. I think what sets this one apart from those is the very unique tone that Dungeons & Dragons brings. There's a lot of humor to it, unique creatures and locations that I think you'll never see in other fantasy.
And we tried to make a movie that you don't have to have a lot of knowledge coming in. Nobody needs to have a familiarity with D&D to enjoy this movie.
And you saw in the panel on the convention that the Brazilians absolutely love the Dungeons & Dragons cartoon from the 80s. My father grew up with it, I grew up with it, it's really special for us. Yeah. So I'd like to ask you, where did this idea to use this reference, this Easter egg, come from?
I mean, look, we knew we needed to represent something that is so near and dear to people's hearts from the 80s, and so it was really a conscious decision to incorporate them in the film.
We shot the movie in England, and it's incredibly popular there. And it was amazing when those cast walked on set. Everybody on the crew kind of dropped everything they were doing and just were so excited. And it really was like a kind of a magical moment. You realized everyone was going to be so excited about it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you by myself, because I'm that guy that, nostalgia is cheap, it's tricks, and then I watch that and I'm, oh my God, it was really special. And here in Brazil, we had a commercial that used the characters, and you talked a little about that. So I'd like to ask if it was an inspiration.
No, not directly. I mean, it was great in that it was an example of how you can take the D&D and update it and make it kind of cool and very professional looking with modern visual effects. And that's what we set out to do with our movie.
We didn't mean to unleash the greatest evil the world has ever known. But we're gonna fix it.
So how do we pull that off? Figure it out over a drink?
Probably best.
In Dungeons & Dragons, we see a great cast, a lot of humor, a lot of action. So I'd like to ask you, what was your favorite part of the project? Because it seems there are a lot of things to love about this movie.
Yeah. Look, I think for me it was finally being able to unleash it to people and showing them what we've been working on for so long. It's a very gratifying moment to see the look on people's faces when they finally get to see what you've been envisioning for all this time.
For me, some of the most fun is not the big action sequences so much, but the scenes where people are just talking to each other in a room and seeing the chemistry created between them. It's so much fun.
You have experience with the great game nights, that it's really fun. So I'd like to ask you if your experience in that movie helped to shape the Dungeons & Dragons live action that we'll see soon.
Absolutely. I think the one thing that we realized when we were making Game Night, we wanted to make a movie that looked like a thriller, that did not look in any ways like it had comedic elements to it. And with Dungeons & Dragons, we wanted to give people the spectacle, the action sequences, like these incredible locations and visual effects and animatronics, but also at its core, there's a lot of humor to it too. And I think that finding that balance is something that people seem to really be drawn to.
I mean, one of our favorite things is to keep the audience uncertain as to what kind of movie they're watching. That's what we did with Game Night, and that's what we did here as well. It's like you're going along, you think this is a straight-ahead fantasy movie, then it becomes comedic, then suddenly it's very emotional. So there's a lot of turns.
This one's dangerous. But whatever happens, we'll be ready.